Krystle, and I live with my husband Alex and our cat Riley. Despite living with lupus, I try to enjoy life to its fullest. So come share in life's big and little moments with me. In my shoes. Hey guys, well, I just realized that I didn't sign off on my video yesterday, and today is the next day now. It's Saturday. So yeah, these new pads that they've used on me, they are staying put. They are not coming off. So I was actually able to remove the tape they had put over them to try to keep them in place. Because that tape would, every time my skin would move, when my body would move and my skin would bunch, the tape was bunching with it and pulling my skin and causing it to itch and stuff. So I took the tape off and they've stayed on all night. Nothing has moved. So that's good. And this little packet that they had taped to my stomach, I just decided, you know what, I'm home now. Sorry, you're sideways. I'm home now and it's raining all weekend, so I'm going to be indoors all weekend. So I'm like, you know what, the rest of today I just took the tape off my stomach. So I got rid of that extra tape. And so now it's just hanging down like this, but whatever, I don't care. So it's okay. These are itching a little bit around the edge here and there, depending on how I move. But I don't think it's an allergic reaction. I think it's just from pulling the skin when I move. But it's not too bad. So I think I'm going to be able to go the whole 48 hours this time. And they'll probably get a really good reading because nothing has come off. Nothing has moved. I haven't had to tape anything down. So that's really good. Yeah, so I've just been doing some rooting, but it's really going slow today with the rooting because usually I think I've been at it for about 2 or 3 hours now, and I've barely got half a section done, which is not the usual. Excuse me. What's happening is it wasn't catching, the hair wasn't going in. I was just poking it and the hair was not going in. Or I would get a couple of strands in, but it was I had to keep going over that area several times to get the hair in. So it's been taking a long time and I don't really know why. So then what I did is I decided to put that strand of hair aside. And, well, first I tried getting a new needle, but that didn't work. So then I got a different strand of hair and now it's kind of working, better. So I think things will go faster now, but now my back is hurting. So I'm just taking a little break, but, yeah, so I had to chase down my paycheck again, my final paycheck. Originally I thought I was going to be getting paid on my last day from what I understood when they were, what I was told. And so before I left, I asked and she told me that she would do a bank transfer, which she's generally been doing. I think there's only been one time that I got paid with a check in person. It's usually been bank transfer. So she's like, oh, I'll do a bank transfer tomorrow, meaning Friday. Well, I waited and waited and waited all day yesterday and nothing. So then today I waited until about 1 o'clock today and still nothing. So then I sent a text saying when can I expect my pay? And I got it. So yeah. So, I mean, that was another thing that I was dealing with. I basically was having to chase down my paycheck all the time. And I really don't like doing that, having to do that. So that was another thing. So I am just glad now I got my final paycheck, so it's over and done with. And that's it. I can just put this whole nightmare behind me. And so, yeah, I've just been basically rooting, watching some TV while I was rooting. I just had some yummy cantaloupe. And I just got like the weirdest messages on one of my videos. Someone claiming that Riley is their cat and that I stole him from them. It was a bunch of insanity. They were saying that he's their cat and they called him to be fed one day and he never came, and that I stole him and they want my cat back, and or they want their cat back, and that their cat, like, they know him and looks just like Riley, and that it's a Parisian cat. And I had to laugh at that because Riley is a tabby through and through. He is a tabby. It was just the weirdest thing. And the best part of it was they said that they live in, I forget which state it was, but they're in the US. I'm in Canada. It's the most hilarious thing. But it was interesting because it just made me think back to when we got Riley. And I don't know if I've ever shared the story with you guys of how we got Riley. Alex, when he still lived with his mom, they had a cat, Maggie. She's still with them, with his mom and his sister. She's technically his sister's cat, but whatever. He had a cat, and when I lived with my mom, we had two cats, Sneaker and Boots. They were brother and sister, and Boots passed away when we had to have her put down when she was 14. She got sick really sudden, and she had always been a very healthy cat, but she just got sick really suddenly, and over the course of a few weeks, she started to not eat as much, and she just was like really lethargic, and she was losing weight at like a pretty rapid rate. And we took her to the vet, and they found that she had a lot of fluid in her lungs and stuff. And so they kept her overnight to try and drain those out, and they had to shave her and all this stuff. It was really sad. And, she had never been away from us. So I think the trauma of being, overnight at the vet's made her health even worse. So when she came back to us the next day, she was even worse. And, they really weren't sure what was wrong with her, but it was going to cost tons of money to do all the tests necessary to find the problem. And we just didn't want to put her through all of that because it seemed like being away from us made things worse for her. So we just made her comfortable for a few days after we brought her home. But ultimately, we made the decision to have her put down. It was really hard. But we managed to get a vet that comes to the home to do it. And, she kind of did an exam on her beforehand. And she said, like, she suspected that it was probably some form of cancer or heart failure. And she said ultimately she believes we were making the right decision because she said there's, her age and everything, it just wouldn't be fair to put her through all of that when ultimately it may not have really helped her anyway. So she was put down at 14, and then her brother totally changed after that. We know he really missed her. And so a little over a year later, he got sick, and we had to have him put down as well. So that he was actually put down a few months after Alex and I moved here. And So anyways, when we moved out, we kind of missed having a cat around, and we weren't really sure if we were going to have a cat, because at first I was like, oh, it's kind of nice not having cat hair everywhere. But as the months went on, we were like, we were kind of missing having a cat around. And so we were at the Canadian National Exhibition that happens every summer in August. And I happened to notice that there was a animal shelter in the one of the buildings that's on the grounds of where the exhibition happens. And I was completely unaware there was one there, but I saw it. And I was like, oh, let's go in. And I'm like, just to look. I just want to see the animals. And so we went in and we were walking around. We were looking at the cats and the dogs and everything like that. But mainly the cats. Like, I'm more of a cat person than a dog person. And so we're just looking around and came across Riley in his cage. And he immediately was meowing at me. And I said, oh my gosh, I love him. And I love how chatty he is, because Boots was a very chatty cat. And while sometimes she would drive us crazy with her chattiness, most of the time we loved it. We just loved how chatty she was. And I really missed that. And so when I saw him, I was like, he seems like a chatty cat. And I really liked that. And so anyways, we knew we couldn't take him home that day because we didn't have the car with us. And I mean, we didn't have anything for a cat. So as soon as we got home, I went onto the animal shelter's website and I found him. I found his picture and his profile. And, you know, it said he was still available for adoption. And so for that whole week, I kept checking every single day. Every single day I would check, and every day he was still available. And so exactly a week later, on the weekend, I said to Alex, I'm like, you know what? Like, we should get him. Like, I want to get him. And he was like, are you sure you want that one? You don't want to look at other ones? And I'm like, no, he's the one. And I'm like, look, he's been here no one's adopted him all week. Like, it's meant to be. And so we went in that day, and at first I could not find him. We went to the room that we first saw him in, and his cage was empty. And I was like, no, like, did we miss out? And so then we started looking, and we found someone, and we asked them where he was, and they said, oh, he might be in this larger area. Like, they had this open area where I guess they would let the cats out sometimes. And so we went, and he was there. And so they let us go in and spend some time with him. And he was, he was a little skittish. He was a little afraid to come up. Like, he was never a cuddly cat from the beginning. He's very timid and everything. But over the years, he's slowly come around. He loves being near us. He loves being petted. He loves belly rubs. And he will tolerate being picked up and held and cuddled now. Not for like a very long period of time, but he will let me pick him up and cuddle him, and he'll start to purr and stuff. So he's come around, but at that time he was still really nervous and everything. But I said, I really want him. I really do. And so we went over his history and everything, and we found out that he had been surrendered by his previous owners. They said that they were moving somewhere that didn't allow pets. So they had to give him up. And he was 3 years old at the time that we adopted him. And so that was in 2008, and he has been with us ever since. And his birthday is actually coming up. We don't know his exact birthday, but we know that he was born in July. So we kind of like celebrate his birthday on July the 1st, which is Canada Day. So he is going to be turning 10, I think. It's crazy. He's going to be 10. I can't believe it. But yeah, that's how we got Riley. We did not steal him. Just made me laugh. I'm like, how could I steal a cat from the States? Like, and he's not a Parisian cat. He's a tabby. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So yeah, that's the crazy people on YouTube sometimes. But yeah, it is raining out today. It's pouring. And Alex has gone out for the evening to his friends. So I'm actually getting hungry. So I might grab something to eat. And then I'm just going to keep plugging on with the rooting. And I'll just watch lots of TV while I do that. So anyways, I'm going to round up this video and end it. And I think I'm going to make it. I think I'm going to make it to 9 a.m. tomorrow. And then I'm going to rip these things off and be done with it. It's like such a satisfying thing when it hits that time that you can take this off. It's like, ah. Okay. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, ready to go. Hey, how are you, my friend? Okay guys, so I got my Holter hooked up, and this time they didn't have the neonatal pads.